Hello everyone and welcome to Timberborn. The beavers are just waking up for the day and they're off to a lovely start. I'm definitely going to have to improve their living conditions quite a bit. They're living in sprawled out houses, so I think one of the things that I would like to be able to do today is to change from them having these houses to an apartment complex. Now, for existing, this is 9, 18, 27 there. So for every one of these that I build is 3 of these that I can delete. So for right now, what I'm gonna end up doing, I don't have any extra beds. So unfortunately, we're gonna have to make some beavers homeless, at least until some of this stuff ends up being built. Let's speed this up a little bit. We'll get them build this for now. Okay, so they've already moved into there, so let's get rid of a couple of these guys. Unfortunately, we're gonna end up making a couple of beavers a little sad. These guys are living on their own, so we'll get rid of those houses first. A lot of ones with... No, I guess these are all adults, so let's get rid of that one. Alright, so we have no extra beds, so let's unpause this and put a priority on that. Okay, so we'll put a pause on that first, and let's see who we can move into this. Alright. Are any of these empty? No. None of them are empty. None of them... Okay, so let's do this one here. This one here. That one there. Oh, I forgot about these guys. Where are the extra beds? Oh, we got 6 homeless beavers now. Okay. All right. Well, next, unpause this and we'll get these guys going on that. Okay. So, those are built. Let's get rid of a few houses here. I need... Okay. So I've got 2 extra beds now. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these, which means I need 2 more houses to be built to compensate for those. I am going to delete one of these. We might have some... Yeah, we got 1 homeless beaver, unfortunately. But I think that's a sacrifice that I'm gonna have to make for now. Because I'm gonna have to build another layer onto this. But I'm not quite sure if this is actually going to work. Because I need it to be at this layer here. Yeah, see, this is not going to work. So I'm going to have to rethink this. Okay, so instead of going that direction, what I'm going to do is one of the things that I'm going to need to be able to do is every layer of this I'm going to end up needing, because I'd like to be able to add more to this, so I need one layer at a time to be able to access this stuff, and I need a second layer to be able to access this stuff. So maybe I'm not going to be able to do this with this setup. New plan. I build spiral staircases. I have now trapped beavers. Okay. I'm sorry, guys. You're gonna have to sit tight for a second. Especially since we're gonna have to wait until the next day for this. And I can't delete that because then they'll end up getting stranded again. Okay, come on. You guys can do it. I know you can do it. There we go. All right. Now the beavers are no longer stranded. So the next layer, I just need to be like this. Like that. Double platform there, single platform here. And we're golden. Next layer. Okay, perfect. I think this is kind of weird. I probably could do that a lot better, but I think that's fine for now. One thing I might do is throw in a couple of well-being things, like a shrub. Like that. But otherwise, we should be fine. So, I am gonna end up losing rooftop terraces, which I can eventually get back. I think for now what I'll end up doing is I'll build some rooftop terraces on this temporarily for now. Because one thing that I just realized when I was looking at this is I may not want to stay with this anyways. Because we have a second or a third tier of warehouse, which is a large warehouse. Capacity is significantly better. We have more than enough science to be able to unlock it, and we have more than enough resources to be able to accommodate it as well. How are we doing on water? They are working away, but they should be fine. I don't know how long this drought's gonna be though. I don't want to increase the beavers' population too much though. We still have one beaver who is homeless, so we really need to get him into a house. So for now, we'll just put a push on this. And I'm gonna get rid of this and this in favor of these guys. We can keep the campfires going for the time being. That should be fine. We'll just get this built, which we'll have to wait until the morning for that. Okay, so housing situation is taken care of. Hopefully. No, apparently we have 4 homeless beavers. So we still need 1 more house. Which unfortunately is going to end up increasing the overall population as well, because I'm going to end up adding 9 extra beds to accommodate 4 beavers, which means that I'm going to end up getting another 5 beavers eventually. The issue with that is that with the food situation and the water situation being what it is, that might end up pushing it too far out. And my worry is that we're not going to have enough to be able to account for this. But let's wait until this gets built and we'll see. Okay. So, I think we're good for now. We got 5 extra beds. They're gonna end up filling that, so we're gonna definitely need to consider what the water situation is and the overall food situation. The 2 farmhouses seem to be keeping up with the overall needs of the beavers, but I definitely would want to have a better buffer on this. With that in mind, I think it's a good time to consider spatterdock. Now, spatterdock's another one like the potatoes, in which that we're going to end up having to grow something, and then we're going to end up having to pick it. Unlike carrots, which the beavers can consume right away, spatterdock, it requires this. But I have already planned for something like that, and all I need to do is build this, which will give us grilled spatterdock. And we need to unlock and build an aquatic farmhouse. Now, despite the name aquatic farmhouse, it's not built underwater. What you need is a place above water with access to the water. So I'm going to build this here like that, and like this. And then we will build a staircase here. Path up to here. And I'm going to build the aquatic farmhouse right here. So as you can see, with that staircase, I have access to the water areas within there. And then if I extend this, I may be able to increase these. No, I guess that's my limit for that. However, this area here, all in here, is all areas that I can grow crops. Specifically, no, a water-based one. So the fact that it's an aquatic farmhouse is it's a workstation for beavers to farm water logged plants. These grow in the water. They have to have water in order to grow, and that's going to be a big issue if we don't maintain this water level. So one of the things that I need to be able to do is make sure that this water level stays high enough to be able to accommodate or to keep these waterlogged for the entire duration of what lacks goods. Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna pause that for now anyways, because we don't have Spatterdock to work with. They need to build this first, which we'll just let them build that. Well, I forgot there was a drought, and it looks like it's a long one. 5 or 6 days. I don't know whether this... I guess this will be a test, because if this ends up getting built, and they start planting this, I should be able to tell from this drought how good this water retention is going to end up being. But I'm going to need to make some changes after this anyways, so we'll wait and see to see how this goes. We should have more than enough beavers to accommodate this. We don't necessarily need this at the moment because we're still pretty decent on food, but it will give it a little bit more variety, and it'll give it a lot more food possibilities. And especially for storage as of food, it'll have a much longer time before the beavers start having to worry about starving to death. So that should end up boosting that. Now, I'm gonna, before this is done, I'm definitely gonna have to consider some storage. But I think for right now, what I'm gonna end up doing is just do some temporary storage, because what I am considering is investing in a more permanent warehouse location. One that is away from here and that can be centralized, and I can base it off of this large warehouse versus the medium warehouses. So for right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a couple of warehouses here. One of them is going to be for Spatterdock. If I can find where this is. Oh, Spatterdock. That will be for Spatterdock, and this will be for grilled Spatterdock. And what this is going to end up being is these guys will farm away at this Spatterdock. They're going to end up putting it in here, fill this up. This guy is going to end up grilling up the Spatterdock and getting it into there. As of right now, since they're only just farming it, I don't think it's an issue. I think that we can wait until that happens to do that. Water situation seems to be back up to where it should be. And this is still good, so... And that's with a drought. So I think we're okay. I was considering having to put another one of these in as a backup, but from the looks of things, that should be fine. The great thing is that this can keep working away during a drought much longer than in any other area that we could go into. And because this is going to end up draining before anything else, but this is not going to affect anything. Like, it's not going to dry out anything. Having this water source stay here as is, and even having this water stay here like that seems to be working. I just wish I had a way of maintaining more water in these areas. Especially with this, like, I'm wondering whether there's some automation I can use to utilize this water while it's a drought, that I can still keep this active, like, being able to turn it on and off with bad water sources. I'll have to think about that, but I think that'll be for another day. For right now, I'm just gonna see what I can do here. Now, one of the things that I need to consider at some point in time is contamination of the beavers. Playing around with bad water or having bad water infect beavers will cause them to get sick, which is why I ended up building this and this. But I don't have dandelions. The gatherer flag is what gets dandelions. But I also need a forester to grow them, because I don't think there's any naturally occurring dandelions anywhere on this map. And the cool thing with the foresters is they don't just plant trees, they also plant berries, berry bushes, and they plant dandelions. So what I am going to do is I will, oh, and that's dried out. Yeah, I definitely need to at some point in time think about a way of retaining this water somehow. Drought's nearly over, so I think we'll be all right for this time, but as the droughts get longer, we're going to end up definitely having some issues. I'm going to put that there. And I'll mirror that one by doing that. This should give us a more direct path for the beavers back to their homes and back to the main, which should allow these buildings to be accessed a lot easier. I'm gonna need this guy to be unpaused eventually. Some of these will need to be cleaned up here. So maybe that, and that. Prioritize that and prioritize these guys, and that should be just let those guys build away. Okay, so with that done, I cleared out everything. So what I ended up doing was I ended up making a pathway up to this. So now this guy has access to all of this area here. I probably end up making some pathways here because he might be able to open that up there. This guy has full access to all of this. So what I'm going to do is berry bushes. I'm going to plant berry bushes here. Now, there's already berry bushes existing on this, so obviously he's not going to have anything to do, but what this will end up doing is if, say, during a drought, any of these end up dying, which shouldn't happen, but might, this guy's going to end up replanting all of this stuff. And see, there was a few gaps there that hadn't been there before, so ended up planting those. I also want him to be able to plant some dandelions. So I'm going to do dandelions here, dandelions all throughout here, and then I'm going to do a patch of dandelions here. Actually, you know what? I am not going to have him do dandelions. So this should be more than enough dandelions to cover the needs that we have for this. I need equal parts berries and dandelions. And in fact, what I might do is clean up some of this and change it from yeah, you know what? I'm going to change those to dandelions. Like that. So, I don't know if this is going to be enough. I don't know the ratios of berries growth. So this is every 12 days I get 3 berries. Every 3 days I get 1. So every 12 days I will get 4 of these. Every 12 days I will get 3 of these. So I need slightly more berry bushes than I do dandelion bushes, so, or dandelion flowers. And technically they're weeds, but yeah. So I think that's gonna be a good ratio for that, and it's only taking up this area here. Now that these are planted, unless there's any issues here, I don't think I need this forester here. I'm gonna keep the forester there, but I'm just gonna pause the building itself. If there's a drought or anything like that, that kills any of these plants, I can unpause this, get this guy going. I don't think there's any sensors that can detect plants or anything. So, ooh, well, that's interesting. Arms the dynamite underneath it. That might be fun to play with. I definitely need to play around with a lot more of these ones, but that'll be for later. Yeah, so there's no sensor or anything for detecting that there is any like plants or anything in the area. So I don't think there's any way that we can automatically turn this on and off. So we'll leave it as that for now. This should be fine. I need storage for dandelions. So I guess another temporary storage. I say that knowing that this might actually end up being permanent. Because, you know, there's nothing more permanent than a temporary solution. We've got Spatterdock coming in, so I will start the grilling station there. I think I might expand the field a little bit. They should be able to access this perfectly fine, but I want to put in some pathing just in case I need to do any building or anything outside of this area. And I think having extra access points across areas will be good as well. So let's add some more Spatterdock here. That. And we'll leave it at that. Now, I want this to be higher. This is okay. But I think that... because I think this only was like 0.5 or something like that as far as height is concerned. So I think that I would like to have this area higher, and that means turning it into floodgates here instead of dams, because floodgates I can have a higher level, which means I can do like 0.85 or even 0.9 level, which means that I can store a lot more water in here, which means that it's going to end up being a lot longer before a drought can cause an issue. So, with that in mind, I will put some levees in here, and then I am going to put a floodgate here. A floodgate here and there, and then a levee here. I don't have any reason to go over this direction right now, unless something goes horribly wrong. So once this is built, we're gonna put this to 0.85 for now. Bad tide approaching. Okay, well, now's as good a time as any to test that out. So we've got 3 days before the next bad tide. This shouldn't make any difference in how the bad tide will behave. It is all up to this little sensor right here as to whether this actually works or not. Which I don't know if it will. Really hoping it does, because that'll be horrible if it doesn't. I have no backups. I have no way of fixing it otherwise. Okay. Either way, this is good, so I'm gonna end up taking this out here. We will delete all of this. And that. And we will replace this with platforms all the way across here. Stairs, that, and we are golden. So, that is taken care of. So now I should be able to get that up to 9.9. That might be a little bit risky, but that also should allow us to have a lot more water available to us. It also should force more water down this direction, which should flow through here a lot better. Now, next thing is I would like more water here. So same thing, which might be a little bit risky just because we're going to end up having more flooding coming in. I would like to change these guys out to floodgates as well. So let's do this. Like that. And then I'm going to put a levee here and a levee here, and that should accommodate that. Worst case scenario is I can keep this in here and then just raise and lower it based on that. These guys can stay here for a little bit. At least until they end up building that. But I don't think I need to watch them do this. We are pretty decent on all the materials. We've got that. Okay, bad tide. Let's take a look here. What's happening? So we got bad water coming through here, bad water coming through here. This has turned on, which has turned this height to 1. It has turned this height to 1, which is... It technically is blocking this, but because of the overflow on this, because not enough water is coming through here, or not a lot of water is being allowed through this and through this area here, it's flowing over. But it is relatively minimal, and it should end up flowing out through this way and should avoid things. I think. Hopefully. Shouldn't be an issue. So everything worked as intended, and the amount of bad water that has flown through here is minimal. So we're good. I think we're good on this. One additional thing that I would like to be able to do is clear out this. Because, not that it's necessary, but, I mean, it's kind of nice to have this available. So I'm going to clear that out there. Those guys are working away. Those guys will work away at that and get that going. They are finished doing this, so that's good. I think I'll keep this at 0.8. It'll be a step up from this one, only just barely, that it should be fine. My biggest issue is that if I let too much water through, or not enough water through here, and it builds up too much, I'm gonna have some issues with it here. And I don't really want that. So, and with that, I think I would increase this to 0.75. Just because that should control how much water comes through here. which means that I should be able to control. This should come through the like water should go path of least resistance. Oh, we've got way too much water spilling over this. This is definitely an issue. We're gonna get some contaminated beavers on this. Fortunately, it's minimal. And the bad tide is almost over, so we should be fine. The fresh water should be coming through soon. Now the downside is that it's letting bad water out way too quickly. And it's letting too much contamination through. So, a couple of issues with this system. One is this overflows way too much. So this doesn't work. I'm going to have to dam up this area here, which is going to end up letting some contamination through here. But I think we can alleviate that if we end up putting a set of dams or a set of floodgates here to fix this. Beaver is unwell. That is unfortunate. That is very unfortunate. We have 5 unwell beavers. Now, oh, that's not good. This guy should have been working on... Oh, this could be bad. This could... as much as I really wanted those guys to be... that issue. Might be a serious issue. Got 5 unwell beavers and no antidotes. Definitely put a push on those guys. We definitely need the antidotes. How is this? Beaver spent too much time in contaminated water. It's fine for now, but we got sick in a few days. Is he getting antidotes? How does this work? Was the antidote... Is there an antidote in this list? No. No, nowhere is this antidote. So I don't know how they end up getting the antidote to fix it. This guy is just working away. Creates an antidote that cures contaminated beavers. Yeah, I don't know whether that's going to end up fixing them. But I am really hoping it does. But I think I'm going to have to fix this issue later in the next episode. Definitely. Oh, he's gone from unwell. 2 of them have gone from unwell to contaminated beavers. Yeah, poor guy. Antidotes. He's getting antidotes now. Is that curing his... Antidote is going down. The contamination is not. Oh, no, it does look like it is going down. So as the antidote goes down, the contamination goes down. So yeah, so that should be good. Now, downside is those 5 beavers, we're now also down by 5 workers. Which workers can we afford to not have? I think it's time to put some more automation in place. So, one of the things I was going to put a pause on stuff, but I think that I'm gonna end up putting a resource counter in for what? Planks. And the plank threshold will be less than or equal to 90%. And we will call this the planks greater than 90. I don't remember what I called these things. Metal blocks percent 90. Okay. Well, we'll just leave it at that. Okay, so when those planks are, while they are less than or equal to that, I want this to be automated with planks. This to be automated with planks. So that we've got 2 buildings that will stop working whenever we are... Well, actually, no, let's just do all of it. So... yeah. So we're good. But I think that's gonna be it for today. The beavers are going to sleep, so I think this is a good time to say goodbye for today. If you liked the video, please like, subscribe if you want to stay up to date on material, and it also helps the channel grow. Thanks for watching. Beavers and I will say goodbye. Bye-bye.